A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm saying what I'm saying.
Have you ever had sex, Danny?
No. Well, not as me, anyway.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily, where we don't practice simjutsu and cry about how toxic masculinity is. Today, we're breaking down something that actually matters, manhood, and what happens when you give it up for clout. Actor Terence Howard sat down with Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment and dropped a truth bomb that had the internet shaking. This wasn't some YouTube drama about who cheated on who. This was a grown-ass man admitting what most are too scared to say out loud. Losing your man card is the L you never recover from. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many.
There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You should have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
This is pure gold. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. That's not a line, that's a Bible verse for men in today's clown world. And when PBD hit him with that, "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" you could feel the weight of that silence. It wasn't awkward, it was real. Let me say it louder. A man who gives up his masculinity for applause is not acting. He's auditioning for permanent regret.
When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
Listen, this isn't about sensitivity. This isn't about whether a man can cry or not. This is about violating your own biological man code and then wondering why you feel like less of a man afterward. Spoiler alert, because you are. And this leads us to Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man, aka the guy who got wrecked by a role. Let's talk about the crowded room and how Tom Holland lost his man card on set.
How emotionally taxing was this on you? Because you must have just been so emotionally drained mentally.
Yeah, it was a tough time for sure. We were exploring certain emotions that I have definitely never experienced before. And then on top of that, being a producer, dealing with the day-to-day kind of problems that, come with any film set, just added that extra level of pressure. But I really enjoyed it. I loved the learning curve of becoming a producer. I'm no stranger to hard work. I've always sort of lived by this idea that hard work is good work. And I really enjoyed it. But then again, the show did break me. there did come a time where I was like, I need to have a break. I disappeared. I went to Mexico for a week and had some time on a beach and lay low. And I'm now taking a year off. And, you know, that is a result of how difficult this show was.
He said it broke me. Yeah, I bet it did, Tom. You played a sexually traumatized, mentally unstable man with multiple personalities. And what did that range get you? A year off, a head full of demons, and the audience saying, yo, this ain't my Spider-Man.
So now I tell her, I was only trying to help. She says, if I really want to help, I get her on the dance floor. Oh, next thing I know, we're moving together like we're two halves of the same person. It's rare. Finding someone who understands your movement like that. That was us.
Brothers, as a man, you're not supposed to be in a position like this. Another man bumping and grinding on you? Nah, not just that. This dude is in your neck, breathing on your skin, holding you like you're the prize, and you're not fighting back. You're engaging. You're supposed to lean into it with softness, with vulnerability, with surrender. That's not just physical, it's psychological. That's a man taking on a feminine role, a feminine mindset, a feminine posture. You're receiving, you're submitting, and like Terence Howard said,
A man don't take it, a man gives it.
you're not supposed to receive. That goes for energy, behavior, and biology. And I already know someone's gonna comment, but it's just a role, it's art. Yeah? You know who else was just acting? Adult film stars. And guess what? It still messes them up mentally because your brain, your body, and your soul know the difference between masculine and mockery.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does.
Tom had to take a whole year off to get himself together. And ask yourself, what kind of role does that to a man? Not a warrior, not a king, not a soldier, a fragile, sexually broken victim. And you know what they call it? A breakthrough performance. Nah, that wasn't a breakthrough. That was a breakdown. You have to emasculate yourself in order to do something like this. And you know who's still thriving through all this? Zendaya. Of course. She plays dark, gritty, broken, savage. She kisses women, cries, overdoses on screen. And people be like, yes, queen, Emmy incoming. But when a man shows emotional depth, suddenly it's, yo, what happened to him? He lost it. This ain't my superhero. That's the masculine double standard. Society says open up, but when you do, they clown you, cancel you, and question your manhood. Being a man is not fluid. You don't just freestyle your way through manhood like it's jazz. There are rules. If you break them, there are consequences.
Then why don't you just let me be, huh?
Now let's rewind the clock. Heath Ledger, remember Brokeback Mountain? Oh yeah, everyone clapped for it. So brave, so raw. Then The Dark Knight. Then he died. Do I believe Brokeback Mountain alone did that? No. But do I believe playing roles that go against your biological nature has a cost? 100%. Rest in peace, Nora Vincent. And I'm not just talking about career damage. I'm talking about spiritual damage, psychological damage, manhood damage. Men are breaking down in real life while pretending to be someone else on screen. And society rewards it with awards. And then forgets you when the breakdown hits. Hollywood wants to feminize the male image and call it progress. But progress for who? Not for men, not for boys. Not for the next generation growing up thinking the only way to be accepted is to surrender their masculinity. That's why Terence Howard's words were powerful.
The women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
He didn't just walk away from roles. He walked away from compromise. And if you're a man watching this, let me make it simple. Stop giving away your man card for validation. Not for Hollywood, not for TikTok clout, not for your boss, not for your girlfriend. If you have to become less of a man to be accepted, then you were never accepted in the first place. Being a man is hard, but it's also sacred. Protect it. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.